Welcome back to Muddled Minds. This is another muddled question. So question number 4 in this series. What's the difference between living and being truly alive? Now that definitely has a personal meaning to it. Because basically, yes, we are living. We are all breathing. We are taking in chemicals and gases around us. Our bodies are processing it all the way down at a cellular level in which we can convert different forms of compounds and matter into other forms of that compound. So, with that, we are living, because living means that we are breathing, there is blood flowing, and that we actually have some sort of perception of what is going on around us and how we interact with the world and how the world interacts with us. Because if we were dead or not living, we would basically be a solid object. Like every object is solid, but yet it is fluid depending on the frequency that it is vibrating at. But to us, everything is solid that we see. This Kindle is a solid. This controller is a solid. This hand is alive because it moves, right? Well, a solid can move. Boop, boop. But that don't mean shit, right? Living means we create heat. We generate heat. We use energy. We create energy, and we also destroy other things to create new things. As in the essence, we consume and we also produce waste. So therefore we are living. But now we ask yourself, what does it mean to truly live? Well, to truly live is to live life with absolutely no bounds. By no bounds, we are talking about living life to the fullest. To live life to the fullest, we have to get out there, not worry about anything. Not worry about how people look at you. Not worry about how people treat you. Don't care about anything in this world other than yourself and how you can make yourself feel better about everything you do on a day-to-day basis. So what that brings to us is, essentially, by living and being truly alive at the same time, we are able to open ourselves up to a place in our minds that we are actually able to interact with this world that we see around us in a way that we can fully submerge ourselves into being a truly happy person that actually is able to do everything that they desire and be happy about everything that they end up achieving, even if it was not what they initially planned on to achieve. Now that's the biggest thing about it, is that even though we set out goals in our lives and things that we do want to achieve, hardly ever do we actually get there. And if we do get there, it takes many steps along the way. And when we do get there, it feels gratifying. But in that process of getting there, we usually have steps that hold us back and step backs that make us feel like crap. But once we do get there, we feel great about ourselves. And to truly live, we should always feel great about ourselves throughout the whole process, because once we can truly live, we understand that nothing matters in this world, because nothing has any meaning other than our own essence of happiness, and of course the happiness of others around us, because everybody else around us does have a direct interaction with us, and their direct interaction can therefore correspond and correlate to any happiness that we end up having in the aftermath. So after all, our happiness and our truly living does depend on other people's interaction with us and how we interact with them. But in the end, we truly are alive and living at the same time. The only difference is a chemical process versus our actual perception of how we actually interact and think about the world. Two completely different things. One is more scientific, and one is more into that ghostly world where we start talking about godly effects and how the mind actually works. Because one thing we do know, you may be able to scientifically prove how things happen throughout our body, but there is no way that we have totally determined yet how our brains and how our minds are actually intertwined in a way that this mind can't be put in another body, but yet you could take a brain and put it in another body. Although there's nothing that has been scientifically proven yet that a brain would be still working after you transplant it, but physically and theoretically it could be done. And if it was done, with that mind, our thoughts, me, you, what I'm thinking right now, and what's going on in this head of mine and yours, would that actually be transferred from point A to point B when there is a difference between body? Or is it our whole bodies ourselves that actually connected and intertwined to actually make us who we are? And as we know, and once we understand who we are, we can truly live. Thanks for tuning in to another muddled question here on Muddled Minds. Don't forget to check out the last question in this series, and don't forget to subscribe. The question number 4 in this series is, I forgot, this hand. Ow.